Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day and that you're looking after yourselves and one another. We are back with our top five albums of the 1990s. Right now, we are going to be tackling 1997. I am joined again by Mr. Bill Schuster. How are you doing, Bill?
I am doing great, Armando. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Edmonton. Just a quick question. Were you affected by the eclipse at all?
I slept right through it. Stacy and the grandkids went and checked it out outside because we're here in Southern Illinois, so we were right in the path. But I was exhausted after working, so I had nope. I
Yeah.
looked at pictures afterwards.
Yeah. No, I never went. A little side note, I never even looked out the window. And now there are reports that people are complaining about headaches and blurry vision because you know what? They looked right at the eclipse when they weren't supposed to. You know what? You were told, no, and yes, I'm going to be preachy for 30 seconds. You were told, specifically told, to wear proper eye gear, to not look at the eclipse directly. You did what you did. There you go.
If they'd only listened to Roger Waters in 1973,
None of this
brain
would have happened.
damage, eclipse. These words were combined for these two songs.
There
So
you go. There
they
you
go hand
go.
in
One
hand, folks.
segued into the other. So I mean, it's like hand in hand. Okay, back on to serious business, guys. We are going to be tackling our top five albums of 1997, plus two honorable mentions. Again, I will hand over the virtual mic over to Mr. Bill Schuster to give us his first pick for 1997 or
All
number five.
right. Serious business, very serious. All right. Actually, in all seriousness, this is a very serious band. There's a very little humor in this band. There's occasional moments, but they're actually pretty dark and serious and deeply personal lyrics, political lyrics, talking about social issues and interpersonal relationships. Um, this is the debut by Swedish progressive metal band Pain of Salvation. This is Entropia. The main man in Pain of Salvation is, was, and always will be frontman Daniel Gildenlow, who has an amazing singing voice, writes pretty great, intense lyrics. He really can get emotional and powerful with his singing and his lyrics, and the band really comes to play with the music behind him. But he is the focal point. Let there be no doubt of that. This is Daniel's band all the way.
Mhm.
Um, some of my favorites on here: "Winning a War" and "Oblivion Ocean." But the whole album is great. It's a nice start to the career of Pain of Salvation. I mean, I say progressive metal, you might get certain sounds in your head of what that's like. Well, take that out of your head. Don't think this is not like a Dream Theater clone or anything like that. In fact, they change a bit on each album. They can be very heavy. They can be progressive. They can be very arty, have acoustic sounds, have keyboard sounds, even at some points in their career, classical orchestration, and yeah, they're kind of all over the map. So they're really eclectic musically. So they're not just a straight laced metal band by any stretch of the imagination, but they are quite good, and you will be hearing more of them from me as we go through this and other decades. Because they are still going. At least Daniel is. Not so much the whole original lineup, but yeah, he's again the main man. So yeah, if you like the sound of that, check them out. Entropia, Pain of Salvation. If it's even in print anymore, I don't know. It was on Inside Out, so and well, actually, this was
Tony.
on Century Media. So yeah, Inside Out and Century Media, both on the back cover. You could figure, yeah, if you're familiar with those record labels, you kind of know what you're getting into here.
Hmm. It's a good choice. I haven't heard that.
Really, haven't heard of Pain of Salvation?
I probably have heard the name, like it's, but never really paid much attention. I should check that out. Thank you for that. Um, and guys, I've just been looking at my list here. The Canadian contingent is quite heavy. five choices are Canadian, so that was completely by accident. But here we go. Coming in at number five is Depeche Mode with Ultra. Um, I gotta be honest with you, I throughout the mid '90s, I kind of lost touch with Depeche Mode. But I mean, they were releasing albums year after year, pretty much. This is a more darker album in terms of lyric wise. I mean, sing was like Barrel of a Gun, um, and Home, which is a good track as well. It's No Good, another single. Again, very dark lyrics. Martin Gore, the main songwriter of the band, main thrust of the band, I should say. Um, it's a good album. It's very dark. It's very dark. I have to be in a certain mood to be able to listen to it. I don't want to say get through it, but to not be taken down a dark hole mentally. So, that's number five. Right.
So have to be in a certain mood to get through it. Doesn't sound like a
Yeah,
rousing
I
endorsement.
know. I know. But I mean, it's very, his lyrics are, they deal with the personal psyche and the personal experience, whether it be emotional abuse, uh, physical abuse, sexual thoughts, very idiosyncratic. Do you know what I mean? Basically, when you listen to a Depeche Mode album of the later years, you sit down, you strap on the seatbelt, pull it tight, and just hold on. And wherever you're going on the roller coaster, I've always said this before, you don't know where you're going to end up, but you just enjoy the ride and let it go for what it is. So that's number five.
Cool. Okay, this for a change, I'm going to be seriously a bit less obscure here. Some people would actually consider this the best album by this band, the best album of this year. Some would consider this the best album of the entire decade. Some put it on par with the likes of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band as far as absolutely radically trailblazing, important, legendary, influential albums. It's OK
Really?
Computer by Radiohead. I don't place it that high. Obviously, it's number four on my list, but I like it a lot. It really is an excellent album. Most people are probably aware of this. I don't think I need to go in great detail on OK Computer. It truly is legendary. I kind of got into these guys later. Uh, all this stuff kind of passed me by as it was happening. It wasn't until In Rainbows came out, frankly, that I finally jumped on board the Radiohead train. So
Yeah.
I got into this, more than 10 years after it came out. So again, the legendary Counterpart CD Exchange did have some of the songs on there, like Paranoid Android and Subterranean Homesick Alien and Karma Police. They were all included. And yeah, I think Subterranean Homesick Alien might be my favorite on the album to this day. It's just such a cool, spooky, pretty tune. It's rather haunting. Yeah, obviously this album was very influential for many people, and so naturally, being the sorts that they were, they said, you know what, we're going to do something different next time and completely subvert everyone's
Mm.
expectations. And of course, they went a little more computery and a little less guitar-y next go around, famously so. Uh, but this time, this was the last of their big guitar albums, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, I don't put it quite as high as most people do, but it's well worth listening to and well worth owning. It's an excellent album.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. I forgot about OK Computer, actually.
Well, it
Um,
must be not that legendary then. You didn't even remember it at all.
I've said it before. I'm not an expert on music. I don't know it all. I know some, and I'm glad to share, but I don't know it all, which is
I
good
do
because you know what?
actually know.
Yeah, Bill knows it all.
Not really.
Because you
I
know what?
really do.
It's good though, because if you think you know it all, you might as well hang it up and say, "Okay, I'm done. Goodbye," and do different things. Um, we must continue on, ladies and gentlemen. We promised that this episode was going to be shorter than the previous one for both of our sakes. So, yes, fingers crossed. Coming in at number four for me is the first of the Canadian bands on my list. And again, this was completely by accident. I only noticed it now when I saw the list that the four out of the five main choices for Canadian, but good choices. Coming in at number four is Age of Electric with uh Make a Pest a Pet. Um, this band is from Saskatchewan, featuring Todd Kearns on lead vocals. I do believe that the band is made up, they're considered, first of all, like rock, alternative rock. But my question is, alternative to what? You know what I mean? Like with the labels, I really don't get it. This is their, it's a major label debut. They were signed to uh, Universal. In 93, 94, they had an EP out called the Ugly EP. The track Ugly was featured, released as a video single, and it was featured heavily on Much Music. And Ugly, the video itself, it's set in quickly, it's set in a hotel, and it's a one shot uh, video, like one panning shot, one continuous shot of the guy, the lead singer, Todd Kearns, walking through the corridors of the hotel, singing the lyrics. And basically, it's a hotel made up of society's misfits. Okay. We don't fit anywhere else in society. We're looked at as freaks, as weirdos, as kooks, but we fit together. Okay. This is the one place that we can be ourselves and relax and do whatever we want to do. And believe me, what you see in the video, you see a guy licking the leg of a mannequin. That's how freaked out he is, okay? But it's a one continual shot. That's from the Ugly EP. This is a major label debut. The songs from this album, our lead single was Remote Control, which again featured heavily on Much Music. I Don't Mind, which was the second single. Todd Kearns has a very unique vocal style. He actually auditioned to be lead singer for Velvet Revolver. Okay, when Age of Electric broke up, they have since reunited for like a one-off show in Calgary a couple of years back. But they are basically, along with another band on this list, one of Canada's hidden gems. Okay, if you can listen to the album on YouTube. They're a good band, very unique. I do believe they are made up of two brothers in the band. So two sets of brothers, sorry, I should say. So that's my number four. Age of Electric with Make a Pest a Pet.
Definitely a hidden gem. At least it was hidden for me. I've never heard of them before. Cool.
Yeah, you should
Like
check it.
the sound of the Island of Misfit Toys, their concept.
Oh yeah, I mean this video, I mean ugly. Uh, it's just um it's amazing. The lyrics are very prophetic, and when you see the video again, it's set in a hotel. It's a one shot um shoot in terms of the video, just one continual shot. He's walking through these corridors, going into these different rooms, singing, and you see different things going on. Like somebody's getting, pseudo whipped, by a hooker. You have a priest praying for his, that he can not give in to temptation in another room kind of thing. All these sort of misfits of society all congregated into one hotel, right? But they all fit together. You know what I mean? Like it's we don't fit out there in society, but we fit together as a community within this hotel kind of thing. I think it's a fantastic video. You should, and it's on YouTube. You can watch on YouTube. So
All right, cool. Another new one. Let's check it.
that's a good thing about these shows.
Mm-hmm. All right, this band I mentioned in our previous episode, 1996. This is actually their third album and their first double album, and We're not talking 70s style double albums. We're talking 90s, or I mean, yeah, 90s style double albums, where let's fill up every possible second of every CD kind of era. Um, I don't think they filled up every second, but well, if you think Tales from Topographic Oceans was overblown, well, just wait till you get a load of the Flower Kings and their double albums. This is Stardust We Are. Check out that cover. I mean, does that look like that belongs to a band called the Flower Kings and an album titled Stardust We Are? It
I'm
just
thinking,
screams. That's perfect for it.
I'm thinking King Crimson.
Right? That would work too. For those who saw the last episode, of course, this is a band led by Roine Stolt. They are a Swedish progressive rock band. Roine Stolt was in Kaipa back in the 70s, so he is an old school progressive rock guy. Um, Sometimes the lyrics are funny because English is, of course, not Roine's first language. And so he comes up with some occasionally entertaining lines in the lyrics that don't make much sense to native English speakers, but they're kind of amusing during the course of the song, and they kind of fit with just the mostly happy nature of the music. Now they do get dark from time to time. Um, in fact, at one point later in their career, Daniel Gildenlow from Pain of Salvation actually joined the band, and
Cool.
so
Yeah.
yeah, these guys are all interconnected one way or another here. Yeah, all those Swedish guys apparently know each other in the music scene. Um, the big track on here is the title track. It's like a 25-minute epic. And
Okay, I got to check out this band
yeah,
more. Really.
yeah, in fact, the closing portion of Stardust We Are, the title track, it's the last song on disc two. The closing third of the song was edited for one of their compilations, and kind of set aside from the rest of the song. It's a very striking vocal performance, and it goes through the chorus of the song. And essentially, Stardust We Are, close to divine. Stardust We Are, see how we shine. And I mean, you get the idea with the lyrics
Yeah.
here. These
Yeah.
are all cosmic, happy, hippie. Yeah. There are moments it's almost like pseudo Christian lyrics, but not in any overt way. It's more Royna's particular brand of whatever cosmic spiritualism with Christian flavor bits thrown in and assorted whatever else. It's yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, proggy hippie stuff, but really, really well played, really generally uplifting. And yeah, if you like big overblown 70s style prog, you got to check out the Flower Kings. And this is as good a place as any. If you want to go big, you might as well start out with one of their double albums.
Cool. Cool. I gotta check. You need to check out Age of Electric, and I need to check out the Flower Kings. Coming up, number three on my list is Our Lady Peace with Clumsy. Our Lady Peace, Canadian band, still going strong. Signed to Columbia Records in the 90s. This is their follow-up to their debut album, Navid. Um, and with Navid, that came out in believe 94. Um, they opened for Van Halen. I mean, that's how much of attention they got. Uh, Clumsy, even with the album cover, you see this guy doing a trapeze throw kind of thing, like he's holding on to the bar, like the grip for the trapeze with his mouth, right? With his hands are out like, out like this, free falling. And he's, looking at the camera going, what have I done? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna. The album was a major hit for the band, with songs like Superman's Dead, Automatic Flowers, heavy album, Rain Maida on lead vocals, Jeremy Taggart on drums, heavy album, Clumsy, the title track, which was a single. And it was funny because the very weekend that I moved down on my own, in June of 97, June 26th, I should say, 97, I was in my mother's living room and this video came on for Clumsy. And The lyrics basically allude to saying, it's okay that you're scared. It's okay that you're doubting what you're doing right now. Just relax, breathe, take it easy, go slow, and things will work out. Okay. It's scary, but it'll work out for you. Um, that's what I took from it. Other songs I know on the album are 4 a.m., which is, I believe, another single. I do believe that this was their best-selling album in Canada at the time, or since. Um, it is a good album. You can still get it on Amazon. You can stream it on YouTube, and you can get it on Discogs and eBay. But yeah, that's my number three.
I'd swear they did they not have a song on the soundtrack for the movies. I can't think of the title. It was just in my head a minute ago. It's the Asteroid movie starring Liv Tyler and Bruce Willis had the big "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" hit by
Yeah,
Aerosmith.
they may have.
I was thinking they had a song called Starseed possibly on that
That's it.
soundtrack.
Yeah, Starseed. That's enough from Navid. They put that on the
Okay.
soundtrack.
Hey, cool. I'm not totally misremembering here. Awesome.
There you go.
Now, if I could just remember the name of that movie, I even saw it in the theater.
Armageddon. Armageddon.
Yeah, thank you. That's it. Woo.
Armageddon.
Okay, that's a load off the brain now. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Good band. Good album.
This is not a Canadian band, and it's not a Swedish band. This is an English band. I've mentioned them before. I mentioned their one of their less popular albums, uh, "Holidays in Eden," and I proceeded to skip right over two of their more popular albums. In the meantime, I skipped all right past "Brave" and "Afraid of Sunlight" to go to my favorite Marillion album, "The Strange Engine." Also have a vinyl copy back there, but this is going to have to be good enough. We're going all CDs today.
Hmm.
Yeah, this was it's a perfect album. I think every single track I really really dig the whole thing. Some Marillion fans don't like this era. This and the next couple, Radiation and .com. Uh, some of the old school fans really don't like it because they, I guess, felt like Marillion were trying to become more of a modern, like a alternative band, a rock band, getting away from their prog roots. I mean, this Strange Engine's like 16 minutes long, the title track. Get out of here with that crap, y'all. They're still Marillion. They're still doing what they do, but they're adding other things in. They're adding acoustic things. On Hope for the Future, there's a almost Caribbean instrumentation added in. It's
Okay. All right.
and a lot of the fans did not like that at all. They can't stand Hope for the Future. I think it's a great, fun, optimistic song. But I like when Marillion branches out and tries new things, which is why I really enjoyed this era of the band because they weren't trying to, okay, let's sound like Marillion.
Yeah.
They were trying to have fun and try new things, and that's usually good. So,
It's a good thing.
um, the title track, "The Strange Engine," is one of my favorite. It's a contender for my favorite Marillion song. It's definitely top three or four. Uh, Estonia is another song on here. This is an absolute tearjerker. Yeah, I can never get through this song. It's about a particular incident where a bunch of folks drowned in a ship. I don't. My apologies. I usually recall this incident, but I don't remember the specific one. But it was based on this very specific incident of a
Which,
bunch of sailors drowning in a sunken ship. But lyrically, it's general enough, especially in the chorus, that it can be applied to anyone who has died.
yeah. When you said a ship, I'm thinking the record of Emmett Fitzgerald.
Yeah, no, it's not that. This is more
Okay.
modern.
So, okay.
But well, and it's the track is called Estonia. I believe it's an Estonian ship that
Okay.
actually.
Okay. My
Yeah,
apologies. I'm sorry.
yeah, but yeah, lyrically, if you yeah, if you've lost someone, yeah, this song will get you.
Gotcha.
So beware. It's a
Mm-hmm.
powerful song,
Okay.
musically and lyrically. I'm not going to even try to get through the lyrics because I won't.
I know. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
But yeah, this is a really
Hard.
cool album. As I said,
Okay.
it's my favorite. Marillion album, but I'm not the typical Marillion fan. I kind of go in different directions that a lot of the hardcore old school fans don't particularly enjoy. So don't use me as a judge of this band. Yeah, this strange engine. That is my number two, and it was so close to being my number one. I thought it was surely going to be because that's how much I love it. But an old familiar face is going to come into play for my number one. We'll see soon.
There you go. There you go. I gotta check that album out too. My number two, ladies and gentlemen, is Sarah McLachlan with Surfacing. Uh, to
Speaking
me,
of tear
this,
jerking,
what was that? Sorry?
speaking of tear jerking,
Tear jerking, yes. Sorry. To me, this is a fantastic album released through Arista, in the US and Network in Canada. Um, Blockbuster of an album. And I really didn't realize know that this album was coming out. It just sort of appeared. Uh, and if you're familiar with Sarah McLachlan's voice, she has a very soft, lush, almost ethereal voice all at the same time. Very just very unique, very unique. Fantastic musician. Songs of note on the album are the lead off single Building a Mystery, Adia, Sweet Surrender, and Angel. All amazing, all amazing. Fantastic, lush production. I do. It was handled by her husband, which I do believe was her drummer at the time. Don't quote me on that. Sarah McLachlan's also gone on to work with Stevie Nicks. She's worked with Stevie Nicks on her album Return to Shangri-La, or Trouble in Shangri-La, sorry. She's also worked with Patti Smith. Um, just an amazing, and she's performed with Pink as well. On one of the, I think it was one of the award shows, the Academy Awards. Just amazing. Beautiful singer, beautiful vocalist, just a dream. Very much a dream. And you guys really need to check this album out. Surfacing. It was again all over Much Music. The videos were all over Much Music in Canada. This was sort of seen as her return into recording. I think it'd been a while, a couple of years since she had released an album, or 2 or 3 years, and this made an impact. Okay, this was back when Much Music played videos. We all know that if you're in Canada, you know that Much Music folded in 2013 when Bell Media took over the station. We won't go there. Never mind. It isn't worth it. But it is a fantastic album, and you really should check it out. Surfacing, Sarah McLachlan, number two.
yeah, that's good stuff. That's I'd actually made a social media post a few weeks ago asking what we as humans ever did to Sarah to make us deserve her Trinity of Tears, which is what I used to refer to Angel, I Will Remember You, and When She Loved Me.
Oh God.
I mean, those three songs, all for various reasons. I'm my God, if you can keep a dry eye through all three of them, you're not human.
Christ. I mean, just when she sings the first line, I will remember you, when she does it live, people lose their effing mind. It's just like it just brings up an image in your mind. It's just like, oh my God. And you're literally, your heart gets like twisted. I mean, like it puts to the ringer.
Yeah,
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good choice. That I really need to drag that out. I haven't listened, yeah, in a while.
The disc is called Trinity of Tears.
Oh no, no, no. That's just my kind of joking title for
Oh,
those three songs
oh,
combined because every
okay.
one of them's a tearjerker, and those are probably her three most famous songs. And so
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. I promised I'd be more on the ball this episode, but it's fine.
I probably wasn't real clear with that anyway.
No,
But
no, no. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
right. Um, okay, my number one, I said it was going to be something familiar. And it is. We're not going off the beaten path this time. This time it's Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. Oh, wait, not Black Sabbath. No, no, it's Heaven and Hell by this guy. Joe Jackson, of course. This Heaven and Hell.
Great
Joe
album.
Jackson and Friends, technically.
Great album. I have it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, featuring Joy Askew, Brad Roberts, Jane Siberry, Nadja Salerno, Sonnenberg, Don Upshaw, and Suzanne Vega. Those are the friends in Joe Jackson and Friends. And
There we go.
this is a an 8-track concept album about 7 deadly sins, one for each sin plus a prelude. And it's all over the map, musically, vocally. Of course, you can tell by the names there that they're a guest vocalist. Joe does not do all the vocals here, and that's one of the cool things I've always liked about him is that he is more than willing to allow other people to have the spotlight if it serves the music. And it does. The different voices really go along with the concept here. Everybody turns in A+ performances. There is, of course, the song Right. Armando knows what I'm talking about, where if you were lulled into a false sense of peace or security, when the song Right comes on, beware because
You are woken.
if you have
You're
headphones on, fair warning. And if you don't like violent and profane lyrics, step
skip it.
away because
Go
this
for
is Joe. Yeah,
yes.
getting down and dirty. Well,
Yes.
this particular deadly sin is anger for that song.
Yes, if that song comes on and you do not like profanity, go to the bathroom, go get a cup of coffee, go do something for however long that song lasts for, and then come back for the rest of the album.
Yeah,
Because
but it's absolutely. I mean, all right, I throw out f-bombs left and right in my daily life, not like not out in public, but amongst family and friends. And
yeah,
but
yeah,
for this though, it's not gratuitous at all. It's very much a part of the song and helps to illustrate the mood and the feel of the song and the lyrics. Yeah,
there's a purpose for it. There's a
yeah.
reasoning for it. Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the album is not quite like that. Most of the album is more melodic and peaceful, pretty. Yeah, and it's no one of my two favorite concept albums about 7 deadly sins. We'll see another one if we ever get around to doing the first decade of the 2000s. I'll just leave that there.
We'll get around
If
to
you know,
it.
you know. Um, but yeah, this is actually the first Joe Jackson album after he joined Sony Classical. Well, if yeah, this is classical and a lot of other things. We're not talking Beethoven here, folks.
Nope,
Not at all.
nope.
But yeah, it's a really cool, weird album. It's no wonder it wasn't remotely successful on the charts. Nothing resembling a hit on here whatsoever.
No, no.
It's not that kind of album. But if you like to dig deep and try some new stuff, Heaven and Hell, Joe Jackson and Friends.
Yeah. And also, guys, if you want to see this album done live, there is a video on YouTube featuring this album done live in front of an audience, a studio audience, I believe, featuring Brad Roberts and Jane Siberry as guest vocalists. But it's fantastic. It is what it is. It's different and it's unique. Just open your mind to the possibility of something different. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Good choice. Good choice. Bloody hell. You shocked me with that one. My number one and finishing off the Canadian contingent is the Tea Party with Transmission. Now, Transmission was released August 19th, 1997 through Atlantic Records in the US and EMI Canada. I believe it was released through EMI as an import in the UK. This album, for me, was, I've said this before, if we didn't have the Tea Party in the 90s for music, I don't know what the hell I would have done. Because for me, the Tea Party saved Canadian music. They saved music, period, for me in the 1990s. This album is a continuation of what they were doing with their 1995 release of Edges of Twilight, mixing hard rock with Middle Eastern influences. However, this was a bit of a darker period for the band, emotionally with the record companies. So they went down a dark road. The only comparison I can use in terms of a music style would be Tool, uh, but more melodic and heavy, but not as heavy as Tool. Mixed with you have the hard rock, Middle Eastern influences, but there's a bit of industrial influence on this album. Not heavily. It's there, but not overtly so. Okay. The lead off single, Temptation, fantastic. Uh, 11 tracks on the album. Temptation's the lead off single. Army Ants is another good one. Psycho Pomp is the second single, third single from the album, third single on the album. That one track talks about uh, getting what you wish for and then resent resenting it because you can't turn back. Uh, the lead off lyric for Psychopomp goes, "You wanted this, so sad to see the sweet decay of ecstasy." Okay. Other songs I've known on the album are Release, one of the singles, um, Alarm, the title track, Transmission, Babylon, which uses the um, industrial elements. Uh, my favorite track on the album is Emerald, where it talks about it. Basically, it's a song that again focuses on the disenchanted, people that feel like they're living on the fringes of society within their own lives. Okay. Um, it's just a fantastic album, start to finish. If you can get yourselves a copy, it's very cheap on Discogs. They go for like $4. Get yourself a copy, sit down, listen to it, and just, you know what? Forget about the references to Zeppelin or the influences of Zeppelin. Every band out there has been influenced by every other band that came before them. So why should the Tea Party be any different? Just give it a chance. Listen to them. They are fantastic. This album, for me, is by far my favorite Tea Party album, bar none. If I didn't have this album to listen to when I first moved out on my own, I didn't, I honestly don't know where I would be, where I would have ended up. Because it took me a long time, just a little side note. When I moved out on my own, it took me a long time to sort of get myself into that rhythm of being on my own and doing my own routine or finding my own routine. If I didn't have this album to listen to get me through that, I don't know where I would be today. And I sincerely mean that. So check it out. Number one for me, Tea Party, Transmission. Go get it.
Obviously, very personal meaning for you.
Yeah. Um, the track Emerald, one of my favorite tracks is the lead off lyric is uh you kill for the taste, but the hurt still remains. That's one of the lyrics. It's like it's talking about someone who's, for me, it's always trying to fit in, right? Is having trouble trying to find the individuality in life and to be their own person. So, anyways,
That can be difficult.
it is. It can be for some. Yeah.
Yeah, I have plenty of experience with that. So
Yeah. When we do our new music discovery um on the Tea Party, please listen to this album. You'll love it. I'm telling you. Like you will really oof. Okay. You'll love it.
on to honorable mentions.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to repeat another artist from last year. This is the fourth album by the Brain Surgeons. And there's another one of those weird covers again. by
Yeah,
that
right.
artist I said I'm gonna have to look up. All right, who
Kind
is
of,
this artist, folks? Who is
it,
this
it,
mystery artist
it
that I
kind of
can't
reminds me of a Frank Zappa album cover.
I can see that. Oh, Steve Brodner is the artist name. Yeah, he does
Okay.
pretty much all the Brain Surgeons album covers, and they're all weird and cool like that. But yeah, as I said before, this is a band fronted by uh, Blue Oyster Cult founding member Albert Bouchard and his wife at the time, Deborah Frost, former drummer of the band Flaming Youth. And they made it quite a cool combo here. This one is unusual in your catalog in that it has more covers than normal, including, let's see, I believe four. Yeah, they cover four Blue Oyster Cult songs: Career of Evil, Death Valley Nights, Baby Ice Dog, and Astronomy. And there are lots of different versions of Astronomy. It's typically considered the fan favorite hardcore Blue Oyster Cult fan song. Here, Deborah takes on the lead vocal. So you got a woman singing Astronomy, which is an interesting take on it. One of the many things that makes it stand out. They also cover a couple of Hawkwind songs, Needle Gun and Hassan Aisaba. They do a song called Forgive My Horrible Butchering of This, Cuidades o Navidades, which is kind of a Blue Oyster Cult cover of the song Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll, which was, of course, a bit of a ripoff of 21st Century Schizoid Man. And yeah, but they do a Spanish language version of that song and put a Christmas touch to it. So if you can figure that mess out, well, you'll, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's entertaining. They also redo a couple of songs. Oh, I forgot. They also did another Blue Oyster Cult song from Imaginos. I am the one you warned me of. Of course, Imaginos was famously Albert's project originally
Yeah,
before
exactly.
everybody came in and stole it out from under him and turned it into a BOC album. So yeah, yeah. But this is a pretty cool album if you want to compare what the Brain Surgeons sound like compared to Albert's original band on a number of these songs.
Yeah.
It's a fun album for that reason alone, whether you're a Brain Surgeons fan or not. And it's come on, it's just worth it for these bizarre covers.
Yeah.
Malpractice. I
I'm
mean,
telling you, man, that looks like a Frank Zappa album cover. I mean,
yeah,
it does. It looks like Zappa on the cover, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And, but it's good. That's a good choice. Before I get into my first honorable mention, I did remember the lead off lyric from Emerald from the Tea Party, and the lyric went, "Confess what you crave, a life without pain. You'd kill for the taste, but the hurt still remains, and still they don't know who you are." Right? So again, just a little backtrack. Check out that album as well as the albums that we've mentioned on this episode and previous episodes. You will not be disappointed. My first honorable mention is from The Verve with Urban Hymns, led by Richard Ashcroft. This guy has been famous for putting the Verve together, getting something going just to get attention for himself, then breaking the Verve up, and then bringing them back together again and breaking them up. Um, the main reason why I picked Urban Hymns is for Bittersweet Symphony, sorry, singular. It features a sample from a Rolling Stones track um, that goes throughout the entire song, but due to a snafu with the publishing rights, it was the Rolling Stones manager that got the credit and the royalties from this track, not the Rolling Stones. So that is my first honorable mention.
yeah. I hope Mick and Keith were able to survive without those royalties.
Well, you know what? Apparently they didn't really start making money until they started like anything with under APCO, they
Hmm.
lost the royalties on. They started their own publishing company and they signed with Atlantic Records, starting their own record company. That's when they started to make the real money. They lost a lot of money before that.
I'm gonna say they're definitely not hurting at this point, though.
No, no, not at all. Not even back then, but still. I mean, if you're owed what you're owed, you should get it, right? I mean,
Yeah. All right. My final honorable mention kind of goes in line with my previous one because it's the other Bouchard brother, Joe Bouchard. Joe Bouchard presents the X Brothers, Solid Citizens. Initially, this was called the Cult Brothers for obvious reasons. Two, you get the two brothers. Albert is not on here. This is Joe's band, but both Bouchard brothers were founding members of Blue Oyster Cult. So, and Joe appears on a number of projects with Albert, and Albert with Joe throughout the years. They've continued to make a ton of music long after leaving Blue Oyster Cult, and a lot of it's really cool. This does feature one member of the Brain Surgeons, though, Billy Hilfiger again, the late Billy Hilfiger, Tommy Hilfiger's brother. And it also features the other Hilfiger brother, Andy, on bass and vocals. So you got Joe Bouchard on vocals, guitar, piano, organ, bass, and mandolin. You got Andy and Billy on bass and guitar and vocals, and Jimmy Kakala rounds them out on drums and vocals. This is mostly original material here. There's some of these songs that, frankly, if they had been released under the Blue Oyster Cult name back in the late 70s or early 80s or something, they could have, should have, would have been rock hits. This, more so than the Brain Surgeons material, is a bit more straight laced in general. I'm not going to say it's like overly commercialized or simplistic or anything like that. It's still has lots of coolness and weirdness and
yeah,
those odd little touches you would expect from a former BOC member. Um, if you happen to want to check them out, a particular song, I would recommend Dream Machine or Run for the Sun. But really, the whole album's really cool. It was a good band. They released one more after Billy died, just the three of them, and it had a bunch of covers on it mixed in with the originals. It was pretty good too, but not as good as this. Nowadays, Joe and Albert are with Dennis Dunaway, original founding Alice Cooper band member. They have a trio called Blue Coupe that have had for a number of years. And recently, I heard that Albert joined up with the Dictators and is drumming for them now, which is fitting, I guess, because Ross the Boss from the Dictators was in a lineup of the Brain Surgeons called Brain Surgeons NYC. So they go back many years. So yeah, again, another one of those, the Blue Oyster Cult tentacles,
yeah.
they
You
go
go
everywhere.
far.
They're connected to so many things, and they're
Yeah,
all in that New York scene. I mean, you got the Hilfigers in here, which relates, of course, to Tommy, and you can imagine all the different ways that goes, and it's wild. There needs to be a book about not so much about Blue Oyster Cult themselves, but about all their tentacles and
yeah.
all the little side stories and relations, because there's a
It's
lot of pretty
true.
cool
It's true.
characters in there.
It's true. It's like, what do you call it? 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true. Um, my last honorable mention, guys, is wait for it. U2 with Pop. Um, what to say about this album? What were you thinking? This considered to be U2 going hip hop and trip hop and dance. Released in 97. This was the push for this album, the promotion for this album was huge. It was massive. Um, looking back on it, I'm obviously going to be correct in the comments, but I do believe I did read that it was one of the lowest selling albums overall. They went for more of a urban feel, dance, trance feel, hip hop, using loops, drum loops, and samplers and sequencers, due to the fact that Larry Mullins Jr. had hurt his arm and he had to recover. It's not a memorable album. They only remember The only memorable song. The only memorable song for me is Discotheque, the lead off track. Other songs of note on the album are Mofo, uh, If God Would Send His Angels, Staring at the Sun, um, the last track, Wake Up Dead Man, which was a holdover from, I believe, the Achtung Baby sessions. I did see the band on this tour. I should say I heard them on this tour because a friend and I went to the Pop Mart concert in Toronto, and where I was sitting, the minute the stage filled up with smoke, people stood up. All I saw was a bunch of butts. Luckily, nobody passed gas. Otherwise, it would have been a real problem for me. It's not a memorable album. The only reason why it's an honorable mention is for Discotheque. I do like that one song. Um, if you've seen the video, they copied the Village People. Why? I don't know, but
Somebody has to give the Village People props. They were innovators. Love
I
them or hate them, they were innovators.
I
Very
don't want to
influential.
see Bono dressed up as a cop. I don't want to see the Edge dressed as the construction worker. I really don't. You know, whether or not that was his actual hair on his chest, I don't know. Maybe they glued it on from his ass. I have no idea. I don't know. But it, it's
I
not a
just love the fact, sorry, that
sorry.
when the Village People were huge, that you had Leatherman there looking like Kim and Rob Halford could have been hanging out, and people were still clueless about Rob and about the origin of that whole famous iconic metal look.
Yeah.
It makes me crack up to this day. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, I just it's hilarious. I mean, but I think the I know people will disagree with me, and I know one person in particular that will disagree with me, but will not mention his name because he sucks, big time. And he thinks that this is an amazing album. I think that this album, I did buy it, I did listen to it, I did try to get into it. I think it was a misstep, with the exception of Discotheque. So, uh, but I digress. So there you go, my last honorable mention for 1997.
A misstep, but it was a good excuse to mention Village People and Judas Priest, so I'm satisfied.
Hey, I mean,
Thank you,
people
YouTube.
people did not know about Rob Halford. I mean, people were so, in terms of Queen, people were so concentrating on Freddie Mercury, like, with the one piece, Mercury suits and the leotards you know, and then he started to get dressed up with the biker look with the knee pads and the pleather and all that kind of stuff,
The,
the mustache. And, there was that famous situation where, uh, Rob Halford challenged Freddie Mercury to come on to ride a motorcycle on stage, right? And Freddie Mercury commented, he said, "I'll do it only if you wear one of my one-piece suits, the one of the leotards." And he said, "Nope, not gonna do it." So that's what I heard. It was, but you know what? I mean, again, it's all opinion. All of our choices are just that, opinion. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It makes it opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that.
music
Okay.
is subjective.
Exactly. It's all a matter of personal preference and taste. So there you have it, guys. Our top five albums of 1997 plus two honorable mentions. Sorry. I'm on one coffee today, guys, so forgive me. So please, down there in the comments, please put your top five, top three, top two, or top 10 albums of 1997 and give us your opinions on our choices. Um, I want to thank Bill Schuster for joining me again for this episode. We will be back on another day with our choices for top five choices of 1998, 1999. We are also going to be going off topic to do another topic. We are going to be diving into our top 30 prog tracks. We were discussing before we started taping this episode that we are going to at least do one episode because Bill is waiting for a prop on
I have
for his list, and that's number 18 on his list. So I've got my tracks separated into part one, part two, part three. So we are going to come back at you with part one of our top 30 prog tracks on another day. So for Mr. Bill Schuster, I hope you have a good day. And please look after yourselves and one another. And we will see you soon. Also, I forgot, I'm going to be doing ranking the albums on Tool, alternative rock, progressive metal band Tool. I've got all five of their albums. I'm going to do a quick ranking on that. That's going to be a good episode. I'm going to be doing DVD review, Blu-ray review, sorry, on Echoes of the Canyon or Echoes in the Canyon, which is a documentary on the music scene in Laurel Canyon in the late 1960s and 70s. That's coming up. A bunch of other stuff coming up. So I will see you soon with another video. And I want to again thank Bill for joining me for this episode. And we will see you soon. So please take care of yourselves and one another. Click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content they've got coming up. And that's it for now. So please take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Bye for now.